So we're here to do an installation with a drop-in bed liner. We've got a brand new F-150. It's got a factory-equipped Ford plastic-formed drop-in bed liner. And here we're putting the BakFlip in place. And it appears to be coming up a little bit long. Now the bed liner may require a little trimming here in the back as well as in the front. And we'll show you that in a minute. So we're going to take a look at where the rail comes in contact. We're just going to mark it off. We're going to come back in, take the tailgate cap off. We're going to notch that corner so there's lots of clearance for the rail, and we're going to check the setting in the front, see if we need to modify the bed liner in the front as well. So here we are on this Ford at the front bulkhead, and this drop-in liner is wrapping over the bulkhead in the front. Now there's a thickness there that's going to interfere with this rail. Now we had the rail in the opening, and we checked the measurement at the tailgate already. Now on the end of the rail, BAK Industries has added a pad. Now because we've got a bed liner, we don't need that pad. I'm going to take it out of the way to add some clearance. Now this rail is going to come far enough forward that I can close the tailgate without interference at the back, of course, after I've notched the tailgate piece. Now if I wanted to have more space, I could come in and notch this corner away on the bed liner, but it's not going to be necessary on this truck install. So check it on your own. So here we are on the tailgate. We need to take this off so we can make a nice clean cut. We're going to use a hacksaw. You could use a cutting wheel, or you could even score this with a utility knife and bend it over to break that. And it'll break pretty clean, but we're going to cut it with a hacksaw and then file it neatly so it makes a factory look when we reinstall it to give the clearance that we need for that BakFlip rail. So this particular one is held on with torch bit. You come in and you take these off. There's a half a dozen of them. Your bed liner may have a Phillips screw. Just remove this piece so you can have clear access to cut this, or do as you see fit. We're going to modify this quickly and get ready to clamp on the rail. So here we've undone the first two screws, and this is pretty flexible material. So we're just going to come in here. Make sure not to cut too far. This plastic cuts quick. And then following our line, we're going to notch that. Then we'll come in with a file, touch that up a little bit, and we're ready to put that rail on. Silver slotted bracket goes to the inside of the bed and goes at the front bulkhead of the cab of the truck. We've removed that seal from the end to give more clearance for the drop-in bed liner that goes over the rail in the front. So we set the rail in the opening, and we push it as far forward as it's going to go. We take the clamp with the bolt head facing the inside, stick it up in the opening, and get it as close to the tailgate as we can. Now once this clamp starts clamping, you want to set the rail neatly on the bed cap of the truck. There's a rubber seal. You want to compress that so that no water leaks through at this joint between the BakFlip rail and the bed of the truck. So it started tightening. We've got some downforce on there. 1, 2, 3/4 of a turn. On the Ford, I'm going to give it a full turn for good measure. Now, there's going to be another clamp in the front as far forward as it'll go, which is roughly 6 inches from the bulkhead. Here, roughly 6 inches from the tailgate. And then there's an area right here in the center of the bed where we're going to clamp the third clamp in the middle. Now, you don't want it to clock over. There are teeth in the jaws of this clamp that match up with teeth in the rail. So if it's square, it's going to do a proper job of clamping. Now see, you don't want that to rotate. Okay, so there it started tightening. 1, 2, 3/4 of a turn. 1 for good measure. That's a full turn. That's plenty of clamping force to hold that rail on the truck. As I moved up the rail, I was compressing the rail on the truck. Now when I got to the front, I noticed there was a 1/2 inch gap up here. Now this rail has some flex in it. And again, I wanted to show you clearly that you want to compress that rail down, get that clamp to where it starts to tighten. Now the two clamp halves should come together in the bottom of the clamp. There's a joint right there. You want to make sure that matches. 1, 2, 3, and 1 for good measure. Now that's pushed down plenty good. We're ready to make that quick adjustment I was just telling you about. So here's that special adjustment I was telling you about. We're closing the tailgate, and we got a little interference on this rail. We're going to get our Teflon persuader, give that rail a little love tap, just what it needs to get it all closed. Now if it didn't do the job, I would make sure I go in and notch that bed liner in the front. But this did the job just nice. Now we're ready to install the cover.